Right now, immediately, on the double.
Look, Chuck pleads. Couldn't you just take me first and then go back for them?
And lose my permit? Not a chance, Guy.
Our janitor fumes. You're supposed to serve me. You were built to do what I say, and I say, take me to lower 143 right now. The transporter continues to head straight up, the indicators showing the floors they're passing. 28, 36, 45. "Do you hear me?" shouts the incensed janitor. "I said right!" The lift screeches to a halt and the doors fly open. "Now!" he screams. 7 young space military cadets stand there, staring at him. Each has the same identical youthful sneer on his or her face. Each looks around the interior of the transporter and back to him. A couple of them suppress small giggles, and then one of them finally speaks up. "Okay, Daddy-O, whatever you say." They break out in laughter and pile jauntily into the transporter. It gets pretty tight, what with their helmets, flight bags, and crew cuts. The transporter instantly smells like a locker room after the big game.
What deck, sir?
The elevator asks snappily.
Sub 3 forward,
pipes up one of them.
Yes, sir,
answers the transporter sharply. The doors click efficiently shut and the unit whisks them forward. Sub 3 forward? The janitor asks weakly.
Yep,
one of the smiling faces answers.
Weapons pods. Hooah!
And then, all together, they let loose their war cry.
Hooah!
Our janitor, jammed into the rear of the transporter with a helmet pressed firmly against his ribs, slumps against the rear wall, outnumbered and beaten. He suffers quietly until they arrive at the weapons deck and the cadets swagger off. The doors of the transporter close, but the unit doesn't move. "Well," says the janitor testily.
What deck, please?
"Don't start that with me."
Oh, you again?
"Get me to the maintenance disposer section. I've only got 3 minutes. The transporter lurches into motion and lets out a mechanical sniff.
You wouldn't hear our boys in blue whining like that.
"Leave me alone."
I'm just saying,
the transporter says wistfully.
What I wouldn't give to be one of them.
"Oh, shut up." The display counts the decks. Lower deck, 42, 60, 73, 90, 125, 139, 141, 142. The transporter suddenly lurches, coughs, and then grinds to a halt. The doors shudder open.
I have a maintenance problem,
the transporter announces. "What? But we're almost there. We're only 1 deck away."
I have a maintenance problem,
continues the transporter.
And I must shut down.
The lights in the transporter slowly dim. The janitor sputters with almost hysterical frustration. You can't do this. I'll be late."
Better run,
says the transporter.
I am now out of order.
The lights go out, and the unit becomes silent as a grave. One very angry janitor emerges from the transporter, hurling invectives at the pugnacious machine, and runs off for the stairs in an attempt to not be too late for work. He doesn't hear the transporter's smug retort that the next time it might forget to open the door. Chuck doesn't catch the wry mechanical laugh as the unit switches itself back on, turns on the lights, smoothly closes the doors, and heads off to the luxury decks. It's had enough slumming for one day. If Chuck is still mad after his long run to the maintenance disposer section, his supervisor's attitude is no consolation. A burly man whose vast stomach reveals years of supervising instead of doing, the boss berates Chuck for his late arrival, talking to him like you might scold a small puppy who's just soiled your best cardigan. He refuses to listen to the janitor's "the transporter had it in for me" story, and orders Chuck to "get this thing over with because it stinks to high heaven down here." And he wants to get back to his maintenance supply inventory, short for taking a nap behind the stacks of storage. The boss also points out the janitor can get back to swabbing the decks. Several minutes later, The pushing of the first 3 buttons of the garbage ejection sequence has proceeded normally, and Chuck is waiting for the order to be given to push the last button and complete the job. As the huge machine grinds the trash and rubbish to a pulp, the janitor starts to daydream again. Look, he can't help it. It's a bloody boring job. Once again, he's the captain of the great vessel, this time waiting for the enemy ship to move within blaster range, so he might push the button which fires the trans phasers and sends the bastards to Davy Jones' air locker. An insistent beep calls the supervisor, and the man turns away for a moment to answer his communicator. The janitor stands with finger poised over the last button, only half aware of what is going on around him. The sap-do finishes the grinding sequence, and our daydreaming friend, lulled by the monotone drone of the supervisor's voice, proceeds to press down on button 4 without another thought. The point should be made clear that Chuck has done absolutely nothing wrong. Nothing. If he had waited, he would have heard the supervisor finish his call and order him to proceed. The supervisor might even have said something like, "What are you waiting for?" or some such similar thing. Neither our friend nor his supervisor could possibly know that the gigantic arms of the Zap-Do would stop in mid-motion, and the entire operation, the normally flawless ejection of ground garbage into space, would, for the first time in the operational history of the whole Titan-class Star Rover series, come to a complete halt. And no one on board could possibly have guessed that the maintenance crews would, 2 hot and sweaty hours later, find something lodged in a critical place in the arm assembly, jamming up the entire works. But almost anyone with half a brain could guess who gets the blame for the entire incident.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.